Find out how domestic and international lotteries are cashing in on the internet while players are going online to avoid long lines. And ChooseEnergy.com is putting energy buyers and suppliers together on the net in a win-win cost-saving deal. But first, SureBridge is giving small to mid-market companies the solutions and services they need to compete at prices they can afford, while Mediaplex is making real-time web advertising a reality for the business-to-business market, linking key systems for maximum profit.
From technological breakthroughs to innovative business strategies, from manufacturing to e-commerce, from telecommunications to the home computer. On World Business Review with Alexander Haig.
Welcome to World Business Review. I'm Alexander Haig. In this session, we'll focus on web-based business services. Joining me to discuss this subject are Pradeep Khurana, Executive Chairman and founder of SureBridge, and Gregory Raifman, who is Chairman and CEO of Mediaplex. Gentlemen, welcome. We're delighted to have you on the show. Also for this show today is our expert, Vint Cerf. Vint is the Internet pioneer and Senior Vice President of MCI WorldCom. Vint, it's always a pleasure to have you with us.
Always glad to be here, Al.
Now, in your opinion, what are some of the challenges that a web-based company might face when trying to develop cost-efficient marketing strategies?
Well, one of the issues that comes up regularly is timely feedback on the effectiveness of advertising campaigns. And that's one of the things that Mediaplex can help companies with. SureBridge goes in a slightly different direction, also providing cost effectiveness to companies, but in their case, they're helping companies bring up applications in a shared outsourced environment.
Now, Greg, would you explain the Mojo technology and how it relates to advertising?
Sure. Mojo is our trade name for our proprietary technology, Mobile Java Objects. And Mojo is the only technology that allows advertisers to link their valuable business data, like pricing and customer data and inventory levels, directly with the advertising campaigns that are running currently on the internet, and those campaigns that we intend to run off the internet on wireless and interactive cable and other mediums.
For more, here's World Business Review's Robin McElhatton with a report from San Francisco, California.
Billboards, buses, TV. Traditional advertising is being challenged by the new world of banner ads. In fact, online advertising is becoming so popular, analysts predict it will be a $33 billion worldwide market in just 4 years. But advertisers need better online sales tools.
We saw advertisers online either run very vanilla ads without specific offers, or when they were trying to make specific offers, they ended up not having the item in stock.
Mediaplex says its Mobile Java Objects, or Mojo technology, is the first to link a company's online advertising campaign with its back-end database, so advertisers can customize offers or change banner ads in real time according to inventory levels, price changes, or customer profiles.
For example, if you're trying to sell concert tickets in an auction format, you need to link the advertising campaign to what is actually going on in the auction. So if somebody bids up the price, we need to pick that up and change the message in the advertising accordingly.
Mojo technology also delivers another big advantage to advertisers. Instead of waiting until their ad campaign is over to analyze its effectiveness, the Mediaplex technology gives advertisers immediate results. And because it's so flexible, Mojo can be used in new markets like interactive TV or smart appliances. Mojo is doing what old world ads can't, delivering just the right message to the customer at just the right time. This is Robin McElhatton in San Francisco for World Business Review.
Now, Vint, can you see this type of technology making a major impact on the way business is conducted on the internet?
Absolutely. You can already see how quickly a business can adapt to the response to a ad campaign in an online fashion. My impression, Greg, is that you're actually thinking well beyond conventional internet appliances or internet devices. What else do you have in mind in terms of projecting the advertising capability?
Yeah, that's right, Vint. That's what's really exciting for our company right now. As Walter Haig, our Chief Operating Officer, pointed out in that piece, that we're getting ready to run campaigns that are beyond the internet, into wireless, into interactive TV, interactive radio. All these things that we thought were a year or so away are actually coming around just around the corner right now.
Of course, a lot of those devices may wind up being internet-enabled devices, but they're and so they can use exactly the same technology, interpret the Java objects that you've got in Mojo.
That's right.
That's
It's all part of the digital landscape that that we're now examining quite clearly. And what we're doing is helping the advertisers and their ad agencies, many of which are traditional and still kind of caught up in the old economy, to get ready and have the tools necessary to compete in this new landscape.
Fascinating.
We'll now turn to you, Pradeep. SureBridge is an ASP. Would you describe the ASP model and the value it brings to the customer today?
Sure. Our customers are generally small and medium-sized companies, and what an ASP does is we provide them with the business applications that they need to effectively run their businesses in this new economy. And the customer actually never buys the software, they never buy the hardware to run it. They don't hire the engineering staff. We take care of all of that, and actually the hardware and the software runs on our premises in a data center, and the customer simply accesses it through the internet. So they have, these small and medium-sized customers can level the playing field because they have access to this advanced technology, and it's done at a very cost-effective price point because a lot of the infrastructure is shared. In addition to that, it allows our customers to really focus on their business instead of getting distracted from really managing complex technology.
For more details on this important subject, let's turn to World Business Review's Pat Laurie with this report from Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Technology is providing an edge for mid-market companies that in the past couldn't afford the high cost of business applications and services. Through the use of application service providers, or ASPs, these companies are now able to compete on a level playing field. SureBridge, a leading provider of managed business applications for mid-market companies, provides the software solutions and manages everything from hosting to network infrastructure and value-added services.
We can bring down the cost of getting these services almost as if it was part of a big company, without them having to bear the expense of having these in-house specializations themselves.
What SureBridge does is act as either a company's information technology department or as an extension of an existing department. Many secure measures are in place here to ensure that data does not become compromised. Part of that security is the company's disaster recovery plan.
For every customer, we're always going to be doing full nightly backups. All their data's backed up, taken out of the building, so that you can recover in, again, the event that something burnt down.
Inside SureBridge's data center, their users can access information from anywhere in the world, an advantage that allows businesses the freedom to travel or operate from satellite offices on the road using the newest and latest software that is fully integrated. In Massachusetts, I'm Pat Laurie for World Business Review.
Now, Vint, what do you see as the benefits of outsourcing this type of service?
Well, the obvious one is that it's less expensive for the customer because the customer doesn't bear the total cost of operating the systems and having all the staff to do it properly. But there was something very intriguing, Pradeep, about this security question. This felt like Back to the Future. You know, put all the big machines over here and the customers get access to it through lightweight protocols. But how do you keep two customers from interfering with each other on these big mainframes?
Right. Well, actually, the way that the technology architecture is set up is that each customer gets a separate environment to run their application. So they get separate processors that actually contain the application and a separate set of disk storage. So there's absolutely no way that, that there could be any compromise with the data. It's completely discrete. Great question.
That's very reassuring.
Yes.
Greg, how will big internet advertising become? I mean, how big is it going to grow?
Oh, we already are at a point where it's about $3 billion for last year. It's growing to about $33 billion in the next several years.
$33 billion.
Worldwide, 23 or so billion in the United States, according to most industry estimates like Forrester and Jupiter. So you're now looking at a space that is becoming quite large. And when you couple that with wireless, which is about a $5 billion marketplace, and TV, we know, is $275 billion plus, this is a huge marketplace.
Pradeep, can you tell us a little bit more about the companies that are taking advantage of your application services?
Sure. Again, they're typically small, medium-sized companies, so .coms in some cases, or fast-growing companies.
Now, gentlemen, at this point in the segment, we usually look to the future. And I'm talking the near-term future, the next year or so. So how do you see your near-term future?
Well, we see it very bright. Our revenues have expanded quite astronomically over the last year. We see our future as continuing our path of deploying our Mojo capabilities not only on the conventional web but in the other platforms, and also building out the technologies that will automate advertising. It's a rising tide, and it's one that we're taking full advantage of.
Now, Pradeep, what is your view of this near-term future?
We see this year as being a real important year for application service providers. Specifically, we really think this is a year when our customers start looking at software not as something that they buy, put on their own machines, and run. It's really, they're going to start looking at it as a service. And we see customers, especially in our segment, which is small, medium-sized companies, really looking to becoming e-enabled and getting access to this technology through service providers. And we think this year will be a watershed year in terms of the growth in this market.
Very good. Now, Vint, it's your turn at the crystal ball.
I think that this is the transformation of the advertising business to begin with. The kinds of things that Mojo introduce are opportunities for ads to be very active, for people to interact with them and cause things to happen. We've never had anything like that before. It's always been a one-way transformation. And with respect to application service providers, it feels a little bit like Back to the Future, because we used to do time sharing back in the 1960s. But what you've done is to unlock an opportunity for customers to be far more effective in their use of computer resources. So I expect to see more and more software out there working all the time for all these companies, whether it's advertising or doing ERP and other things. It's all software, which is a little scary. It's a little bit like the revenge of the geeks. But the fact of the matter is, this software is transforming the way we do business.
Very good. Now, unfortunately, that will have to conclude our discussion, as we're simply out of time. Greg, Pradeep, we're really pleased to have had you here today, and we very much enjoyed your presentation.
This and other WBR topics are always easily accessible right from your computer. Visit us at WBRTV.com. Up next, an executive from ChooseEnergy.com joins Alexander Haig and Vinton Cerf to discuss online energy resources.
Welcome back. Online energy resources is the next subject on the table. Joining me for this discussion is Raja Ramachandran, president of ChooseEnergy.com. Thank you for being with us, Raja. We're pleased to have you. Vint, why do we need intermediaries to enable competition in the energy field?
Because information is the key to competition. And it is very complex information that either a residential or a business customer needs to have in mind in order to figure out from whom to get service.
Raja, how does ChooseEnergy.com solve customer and supplier problems?
In simple terms, energy deregulation really provides consumers, both homes and businesses, the ability to gain savings and choice in your energy suppliers. And ChooseEnergy.com is that authoritative source, the internet source, to enable you to pick and choose your supplier and gain savings on your electricity, natural gas, propane, and oil needs.
Now, for more, let's go to this report from World Business Review's Mark Weil, reporting from Newton, Massachusetts.
Flip the switch, the light goes on. Thirsty for a spot of tea? No problem. We do tend to take the energy we use for granted. until it comes time to pay the bill. What if you could choose energy as easily as you choose between the competitive long-distance phone carriers these days? If you had one place to go to find what's out there and what it costs, you'd probably save a lot of time and money.
I think initially ChooseEnergy.com provides the education, but then you have to take the next steps. You have to show them the landscape, if you will. Give them the apples to apples comparison. Make it simple, make it very easy to understand, and then give them the choice. Give them the ability to click and choose.
Thanks to utility deregulation, consumers now have a choice when it comes to buying their home heating oil, electricity, propane, and natural gas. The problem was where to go for an independent market comparison. From that problem was born ChooseEnergy.com.
There is no regulation stopping people from changing oil suppliers or propane. And we feel like that's a strategic fit that or niche that we've built into our website that no one else is really focused on.
The website is designed not only for consumers, it's also a valuable tool for suppliers who need and want rate and market analysis.
We've created some strategic partnerships that have never been done before. These are key partnerships that are going to really change the way people buy their energy today.
ChooseEnergy.com is available at no cost to consumers, and there's no advertising on the website. The company makes its money by charging suppliers a fee based on how well the site works bringing consumers to them. Consumers who will be better educated about the energy they choose. I'm Mark Weil, reporting from Newton, Massachusetts for World Business Review.
Now, Vint, can you see this type of technology making a real impact on the way we do business on the internet?
Well, I can certainly see it making an impact on the way businesses get their energy, and residences as well. Roger, this must be a fairly complex process because the information about energy rates and everything else can't be a simple matter. How on earth do you collect all that information and keep it all straight?
Well, that's one of the things about enabling us as being the authoritative source. You're right, it is a complicated set of parameters in terms of how people go about managing the supply of electricity and natural gas on the deregulated side. But our site is very, very simple. We've incorporated a proprietary calculator that simplifies the process and the complexity of these utility rates. So what ends up happening is the customer sees their exact savings, and that's a very unique tool. We also enable this tool for the suppliers so they can competitively price those customers appropriately. So from that perspective, that's what we try to do in gaining credibility for this site, is to simplify it for both the supplier and the customer. And that empowers more competition. It empowers the ability for suppliers to meet the specific needs of varying customers, whether they're homes, businesses, or industrial accounts.
Roger, at this point, we normally ask our guests to take a look into the near-term future in their particular business. Now, would you do that for our viewers today?
Sure. I think that we're in a really exciting phase of energy and what it usually meant. I think most people think of the utilities and that side of the business as unseen, and nobody really thinks very much about it. But because of competition, because of the deregulation, I think there's going to be a strong analogy to the telecom deregulation back in '84. The only difference, it took telecom a long time to have a multitude of services. Now you have mobile, wireless applications, data exchange at the home. None of that happened in '84. The internet enables this now. The internet enables rapid deployment of pricing and standard offers and other types of products. And I think that the future is going to be about personalizing your energy needs and maximizing the benefits of savings and choice at the home, whether it's for your appliances, for your businesses, or your industrial accounts. And you can do this on a global basis, and Choose Energy wants to be that single source where you manage your energy online.
Now, Vint, would you give us your look into the future on this very important business?
Well, I never thought that I would see the day that I get excited about utilities like this, but I am excited for two reasons. First of all, what we're seeing is the use of information to create efficient markets. And internet is enabling the exchange of information, the sort of the lubricant that makes that work. But the second thing is that with all this information around, it's possible to do value add to a rather conventional kind of energy service. We could imagine scheduling various appliances around the house based on our knowledge of energy consumption and costs. So I have the feeling that we're going to see a lot more service associated with energy utilities than we ever did before.
Well, unfortunately, that concludes our discussion as we're simply out of time. Raja, thank you very much for being with us and bringing this very informative sector to our attention. I'll be back in a moment.
This and other WBR topics are always easily accessible right from your computer. Visit us at WBRTV.com. Up next, an executive from Elot Incorporated joins Alexander Haig and Vinton Cerf to discuss winning innovations.
Welcome back. On this segment, we're going to look at an on-net lottery system. Joining me for this discussion is Stanley Kabala, who is Chairman, President, and CEO of Elot. Thank you for joining us today, Stan. We're delighted to have a fellow Philadelphian on the show.
It's great to be here.
Vince, are lottery systems on net a new concept? How is government involved in regulating all this?
Well, it's not entirely new. We've seen a number of gambling systems on the net before, but it's a major issue to figure out how to constrain those who are playing the game to the ones who are supposed to be permitted to play in the proper geographical areas. I think we're going to find out from Stan exactly how that works.
Now, Stan, what are your sustainable competitive advantages vis-a-vis others who are in your business or your space, so to speak?
We believe we have three sustainable competitive advantages. The first is we're the only experienced player. We ran the National Indian Lottery for about 18 months. We sold over 10 million tickets online. Our systems were audited and proven. Second major competitive advantage we have is that we've invested over $30 million in the development of these systems, and we've been through the security processes. And third, we believe we've got a unique vision for attacking this marketplace, not as a systems provider, but as a web-based retailer.
For more on this subject, here's World Business Review's Bertha Coombs with this report from Norwalk, Connecticut and Jamaica.
Jamaica has no trouble attracting people to its beautiful island. But the Jamaica Lottery, one of the Caribbean's biggest with $50 million in annual revenues, was having trouble attracting new players.
The affluent people in Jamaica currently don't stand in our lines to buy tickets at a retail location, so we felt that by going on the internet, we could provide them with a convenient way to buy tickets.
To take their games online, Jamaica Lottery turned to eLottery, one of the leaders in the online government lottery industry. Jamaica Lottery officials were impressed with eLottery's web technology, and even more so with their ability to meet Jamaica Lottery's legal security needs.
The bells and whistles that they put into their system to protect not only the players, protect us, and to protect themselves. They clearly had the best technology and the best well-thought-out business plan for doing that.
Here in the U.S., most local lotteries won't allow you to buy tickets from out of state. eLottery is helping Jamaica Lottery make sure that its online sales are legal by helping them block sales to minors and to people in countries that prohibit cross-border sales. For players who do qualify, the process will be simple. They'll need only open an account with a credit card, pick a number, and the system will do the rest, even keep track of their winnings.
We will notify them by email if they've won. We'll tell them how much they've won, when they won it, and then we'll ask them if it is the jackpot, how they want to be paid.
They can also help arrange a trip to bask in the Jamaican sun when they collect their winnings, if they hit the big jackpot. Bertha Coombs for World Business Review, Norwalk, Connecticut.
Now, Vint, with the advancing technology we have today, is it possible for someone to tamper with the system and rig the results of an e-lottery?
Well, that would certainly be a terrible outcome. I presume that, Stan, you figured out how to control the security and access to these systems so that there's less risk or no risk of someone breaking in and sort of stealing the jackpot.
Sure. Since we're focused on governmental lotteries, the actual lottery will be conducted exactly the same way, and the online system that they have will provide a great deal of security. In addition to that, we build additional layers of security to make sure that our system can't be tampered with as well.
Now, you're actually delivering information, taking information from the customer, like a choice of number, and then delivering the results back. I can imagine expanding this to two-way pagers or personal digital assistants that are radio linked to the internet. You could be playing the lottery anytime, any place, at any, anywhere. Is that part of your plan?
Surely is. We've recently struck a strategic alliance with a company that has significant wireless interests to be able to deliver it to all sorts of palm type and lap type devices.
How many, are you actually operating lotteries now? I mean, you did the National Indian one, but are you currently operating any, or is this a thing that you're about to do?
We will bring our first one online with Jamaica, as you saw in the field report, in the second quarter. We are currently operating a promotional program with the Idaho Lottery, and we'll bring also in the second quarter 38 charitable lotteries in the UK on the market.
Now, where do you see yourself, let's say, 5 years from now?
5 years from now, I believe a substantial proportion of lottery tickets will be delivered over the net. I mean, at a time when you can purchase securities, stamps, and prescription drugs over the net, there's simply no reason why you shouldn't be able to purchase an entertainment thing like lottery tickets. So we believe that a very large segment of the market will be there, that we will be the market leader in that marketplace, and it'll be a dynamic and growing market with all kinds of new games.
Vint, crystal ball this from your point of view.
Well, in addition to what Stan's already suggested, at some point we'll have electronic wallets, and there's no reason why the winnings can't be actually delivered electronically to the target. So it will be possible for somebody to have an instant win with your Palm Pilot. After you play the lottery, the thing gathers value, and it's sitting right there in the machine.
Absolutely right. That's present today in our system. They get credited. There are no lost tickets. There are no unclaimed prizes in our system. People are immediately notified through email of their winnings. So that's present today. It's far superior to a paper-based system.
That concludes our discussion, unfortunately, as we're simply out of time for this segment. Stan, thank you very much for being with us for this show. It was wonderful, and we enjoyed it very much. And Vint, thank you for your very expert contribution, as always. And thank you for joining us as well. Until next time, for World Business Review, I'm Alexander Haig.